I've been loving the DEK roofrack from Kuat and Dynamics. The light bar complements all the lights in front of my 4Runner. But, the rear has been neglected. Let's add some chase light to it, shall we? So this is a 2.0, which is an improved version of the 1.0. Slightly different design, more light output, and better mounting capability. So before I show you how to install this, let's do a little electrical upgrade, shall we? The D switch. So I would classify the D switch as a smart switch panel. It's not your basic or budget switch panel. There's 5 things I like about the D switch and what makes it a smart one. Number 1, the backlight button. So they said this has 8 inputs, but it's actually 9. The 9th one is the backlight button. More and more off-road lights that's coming out in the market right now has a backlight. With the other switches that has 8 gang or 8 inputs, usually you use one of them for the backlight. So you basically only has 7. With a D switch, you maintain that 8 channels or 8 inputs. Next is button customization. In your regular or basic switch panel, one button is one channel. For D switch, it also has one button, one channel, and you can customize the button to group specific channels. For example, you can customize a button that you can call a trail button. The chase light turns on, a couple of your wide beams turns on, and probably fog lights. You can have a show button where all backlights turn on and your rock lights. You can have the strobe button where all your lights strobe. And the cool thing about the D switch is it's not just one type of strobe, it's different kinds of strobe. Third one is the trigger wires. Comes with 5 wires. You got a night mode, which you can connect to your side markers, and once get triggered, the controller automatically dims and or turns on your backlight if you choose to. An ignition sense mode, which can be wired to an ignition source. When triggered, automatically turns on the D switch and off when the car is off. And 3 sensor wire modes. The sensor wires is what makes the D switch cool. You can connect one of the sensor wire to your puddle lights. So when you open your door, you can turn on the back lights. You can turn on all your side lights or even your rock lights as a valet light. Or you can connect it to your reverse light. So if you're reversing, all your lights in the back will turn on. Or you can connect it to your headlights, to your high beams. If you turn on your high beams, all of your lights in the front will turn on. All of these channels can get triggered by using the trigger wires without even touching the buttons. That is awesome. Next is the wireless control. So they do have an app so you can control the switch panel using the phone, and they have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is pretty cool. And in the market today, there's only 2 switch panels that has Apple CarPlay, and D switch is one of them. And lastly, all the smart functions that makes the D switch a smart switch panel. With it being solid state, it has resettable fuses, so you don't need to buy those fuses or even have a spare on your vehicle. From the low voltage cutoff so you don't drain your battery, to the control output percentage that you can actually select the amount of power that you want on the certain light that you want to control, and to the different strobes that I just talked about. With all these things, this makes the D switch worth it. If you want to snag one, the link will be in the description below. I'm not going to show you a detailed install video about the D switch, but let me show you where I installed mine. So I've used a bracket from Overland Equip to mount the D switch in my engine bay. This is a standard bracket, so I drilled a couple of holes to match the mounting points of the D switch. Then I connected the controller wires, connecting the blue end to the blue and red to the red end. To run the wires to the firewall, I pulled back the sleeve so I can run one wire at a time. For the battery cables, the bigger hole attaches to the battery, the smaller hole attaches to the D switch. I used the D switch Tackform mount to mount the D switch controller to my dash. I have been running the Tackform mounts for about 6 months now, and I absolutely love it. If you want to learn about this mount, I did make a video about 6 months ago. Go check it out. Now let's install our SSC2s on the DEK roof rack. Starting from the driver's side, I do need to remove my awning quick disconnect so I can get into the drop point of the T-channel. Get one of the T-nuts and drop it on the outer channel of the DEK roof rack. Take the SSC2 bracket and secure it to the T-nut with a bolt, washer, and a lock washer. Choose the mounting point for the SSC2. I chose the topmost to keep it as low as possible. Now we take the set screws, then install it to the unused mounting points, and making sure it sits flush. Then install the SSC2 chase light on the brackets using a bolt and a washer. Now we repeat the process for the passenger side. Then I took the extension harness. The extension harness has two sides, a long side and a short side. Because I will be running it down on the driver's side, I put the long side on the passenger side. I started on the passenger side, connected the Deutsch connector to the SSC2 pods, then tucked the wires on the T-channel. Repeated the process on the driver's side. Cleaned up the wires by tucking it under the crossbar and along the T-channels. Using the wire retention strip, cut it into 1-inch pieces, then snap it on along the T-channels to secure the wires. I ran the harness down the windshield, clean up the driver's side so I can attach the wire hider. Tuck the wires, of course. This is where I realized the length of the harness is already enough to just cut the end and connect it to the D switch. There you have it. Install is pretty easy because of the T-channels. The length of the extension wire was enough for me. I didn't even need the harness that it came with. Cleaning up the wiring is easy as well, with the help of the included retaining strip for the side channels. And the wire tucked underneath the crossbars, I used the Obisan wire hider. I thought the light is going to protrude really high, but because it's the 2.0, you have the ability to choose the mounting points on the side. I chose the highest one to make it as low profile as it can be. It came out really good, especially looking at side by side with my quick awning disconnect. It's not bad at all. I do wish that it could integrate in the tail end of the DEK roof rack. Just like how the light bar is seamless in the front of the roof rack. Who knows, probably in the future, we can make some modifications to the tail to make it integrated. But at this point, I'm really excited to use this in the trail. For the D switch, the install is pretty easy as well. As long as you have a place to mount it, you're good. The only hard part is the wire that you need to run through the firewall, because it's 2 wires compared to 1 like other switch panels. But with patience, it can be done. You can even omit the controller if you want. You can use CarPlay and Android Auto or your phone to control the D switch. But you still need to connect the controller wiring in the D switch, then tuck in the controller and the wiring in your engine bay. With all my lighting being dynamics, having a D switch is a no-brainer. If you have dynamics lights or any lights that has a backlight, D switch is worth it. If this video is giving you some sort of value, hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. There will be more lighting upgrades for the DEK roof rack, more to come. Thank you for watching. Paalam.